over there.
Get on up.
Everybody right there.
Get into it.
Everybody right there.
Get involved.
Everybody just. Come on. Come on.
Hello, it's Sam Magavern from Partnership for the Public Good, and I'm here with Kevin Connor. He's the Executive Director of Public Accountability Initiative to discuss their new four-part series called The Palladino Problem, analyzing a history of racist, sexist, homophobic statements by Carl Palladino, and then detailing his campaign contributions, his receipt of public money, and more generally, his network of power. So Kevin, the first question I want to ask you is, what did you uncover when you started actually putting together his history of bigoted statements?
Well, it started by just kind of looking for an overview of all these, a compilation of these statements, and what we found is that one didn't really exist, so we had to dig through a number of different sources, and really were kind of shocked and horrified at how many racist, sexist, homophobic, generally bigoted statements he's made over the years. So many times he's been quoted in the press, also posting on social media emails that have been leaked. Just extraordinarily hateful comments that even just putting them all in one place was a bit of it was a difficult exercise for us to just kind of review all of those comments. Many of them over the years have concerned black leaders in this city, but the comments really touch on all of those bases about women. He's made many homophobic remarks over the years, so it's something that we felt that putting it all together would be a service.
It is an amazing compilation. But as you point out, this is not just somebody's great uncle sitting on the porch talking to one other person. This is someone with an elected position, with thousands of followers, with a lot of power and influence in this town. And one of the ways that he influences local politics is through campaign contributions. When you analyzed his campaign contributions, what did you learn?
We found that he gives a lot of money, an extraordinary amount of money. He's given $3 million in campaign contributions since 2000. We found that the top 10 recipients of his campaign contributions are all white men, while you would expect with someone like Palladino to give along party or ideological lines. We found that he gave to both Democrats and Republicans, but really where the contributions seemed to break off was in giving to black politicians. Of the 20 elected members of the city council and the county legislature, he's given to 15 of them, some of them significant sums, and the 5 who he hasn't given money to are all black elected officials. So this is something that hasn't really been reported before, and something we found in the data that was quite interesting, quite striking to us.
So the racial pattern is certainly noteworthy. It's also striking that he gives to so many Democrats when he is a conservative Republican. Why would a conservative Republican give to so many Democratic politicians?
It's really about protecting and building out his business interests. He's a developer that really relies on government handouts in the form of subsidies, but also government leases. He has leases with many local, state, and federal agencies, and the same elected officials who he's giving a lot of money to tend to have oversight over those leases and those subsidies. So this is something he uses to build out his business. For someone who rails against government so much, this is someone who depends on government heavily, more than you and I, and uses our taxpayer dollars to pad his profits.
Give us sort of the big picture of why you're doing this work, what you hope will come out of it, and why you think it's more than just sort of an isolated person making a series of bad remarks. Why do you see this as really a public policy issue that everyone should be concerned with, and what do you think people should do about it?
Sure. Well, as an organization, we're focused on questions of power and influence, and Palladino is someone who has just an extraordinary amount of power and influence in this community, both as someone with a high media profile, someone who is on the record a lot, pushing policy in the direction he wants to see it go, but also as a school board member. He sits on the school board and has influence and direct oversight of policy there. So this is someone who isn't just saying these statements to close friends and family members. He's out in the media, and really what it creates is a toxic and divisive atmosphere, both in the realm of governance, but also for our community, for our region. This kind of thing isn't good for business, it isn't good for government, it isn't good for our democracy or culture here, and it isn't good for our future. This is something that belongs in another era, not here, now, today. And I think we wanted to expose both his history of hateful and divisive remarks, but also his place in a power structure that hasn't yet sort of decided to separate itself from him, continues to sort of condone it with silence and acceptance rather than speaking out against it.
And if people want to know more, want to read your reports and get other information, where can they go?
You can go to public-accountability.org, and if you go to research there, you'll find it under reports, and you can also check out our website at littlesis.org, which documents the relationships of powerful people and organizations, sort of like the opposite of Big Brother.
All right, thank you. Kevin Connor from Public Accountability Initiative.
Everybody over there.
Get on up.
Everybody right there.
Get into it.
Everybody right there.
Get involved.